Social psychology, the scientific study of the behavior of individuals in their social and cultural setting. Although the term may be taken to include the social activity of laboratory animals or those in the wild, the emphasis here is on human social behavior. Once a relatively speculative, intuitive enterprise, social psychology has become an active form of empirical investigation, the volume of research literature having risen rapidly after about 1925. Social psychologists now have a substantial volume of observation data covering a range of topics. The evidence remains loosely coordinated, however, and the field is beset by many different theories and conceptual schemes. Early impetus in research came from the United States, and much work in other countries has followed U.S. tradition, though independent research efforts are being made elsewhere in the world. Social psychology is being actively pursued in the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Belgium, Scandinavia, Japan, and Russia. Most social psychologists are members of university departments of psychology. Others are in departments of sociology or work in such applied settings as industry and government. Much research in social psychology has consisted of laboratory experiments on social behavior, but this approach has been criticized in recent years as being too stultifying, artificial, and unrealistic. Much of the conceptual background of research in social psychology derives from other fields of psychology. While learning theory and psychoanalysis were once most influential, cognitive and linguistic approaches to research have become more popular. Sociological contributions also have been influential. Social psychologists are employed, or used as consultants, in setting up the social organization of businesses and psychiatric communities. Some work to reduce conflict between ethnic groups, to design mass communications e.g. advertising, and to advise on child rearing. They have helped in the treatment of mental patients and in the rehabilitation of convicts. Fundamental research in social psychology has been brought to the attention of the public through popular books and in the periodical press. Research methods. Laboratory experiments, often using volunteer students as subjects, omit many features of daily social life. Such experiments also have been criticized as being subject to bias, since the experimenters themselves may influence the results. Research workers who are concerned more with realistic settings than with rigor tend to leave the laboratory to perform field studies, as do those who come from sociological traditions. Field research, however, also can be experimental, and the effectiveness of each approach may be enhanced by the use of the methods of the other. Many colleges and universities have a social psychology laboratory equipped with observation rooms permitting one-way vision of subjects. Sound and video recorders and other devices record ongoing social interaction. Computing equipment and other paraphernalia may be employed for specific studies. Social behavior is understood to be the product of innate biological factors resulting from evolution and of cultural factors that have emerged in the course of history. Early writers e.g. William McDougall, a psychologist, emphasized instinctive roots of social behavior. Later research and writing that tended to stress learning theory emphasized the influence of environmental factors in social behavior. In the 1960s and 70s, field studies of non-human primates such as baboons drew attention to a number of similarities to human social behavior, while research in cultural anthropology has shown that many features of human social behavior are the same regardless of the culture studied. It is coming to be a widely accepted view that human social behavior seems to have a biological basis and to reflect the operation of evolution, as in the case of patterns of emotional expression and other nonverbal communication, the structure of language, and aspects of group behavior. Much research has been done on socialization, the process of learning from a culture, and learning has been found to interact with innate factors. An innate capacity for language, for example, makes it possible to learn a local language. Culture consists of patterns of behavior and ways of organizing experience. It develops over the course of history as new elements are introduced from a variety of sources, only some of which are retained. Many aspects of social behavior can be partly accounted for in terms of their history. Social perception. In some laboratory experiments, subjects watch stills or moving pictures, listen to tape recordings, or directly observe or interact with another person. Subjects may be asked to reveal their social perception of such persons on rating scales, to give free descriptions of them, or to respond evaluatively in other ways. Although such studies can produce results that do not correspond to those in real-life settings, they can provide useful information on the perception of personality, social roles, emotions, and interpersonal attitudes or responses during ongoing social interaction. Research has been directed to how social perception is affected by cultural stereotypes, e.g., racial prejudice, by inferences from different verbal and nonverbal cues, by the pattern of perceptual activity during social interaction, and by the general personality structure of the perceiver. The work has found practical application in the assessment of employees and of candidates for positions. There also has been research on the ways in which perception of objects and people is affected by social factors such as culture and group membership. It has been shown, for example, how coins, colors, and other physical cues are categorized differently by people as a result of their group membership and the categories provided by language. Other studies have shown the effect of group pressures on perception. Interaction processes. The different verbal and nonverbal signals used in conversation have been studied, and the functions of such factors as gaze, gesture, and tone of voice are analyzed in social interaction studies. Social interaction is thus seen to consist of closely related sequences of nonverbal signals and verbal utterances. Gaze has been found to perform several important functions. Laboratory and field studies have examined helping behavior, imitation, friendship formation, and social interaction in psychotherapy. Among the theoretical models developed to describe the nature of social behavior, the stimulus-response model, in which every social act is seen as a response to the preceding act of another individual, has been generally found helpful but incomplete. A linguistic model that views social behavior as being governed by principles analogous to the rules of a game, or specifically to the grammar of a language, have also attracted adherents. Others see social behavior as a kind of motor skill that is goal-directed and modified by feedback or learning, while other models have been based on the theory of games. which emphasizes the pursuit and exchange of rewards and has led to experiments based on laboratory games.